lovely, lovely peoples. I am filming this late, and for that I am sorry. But the point is that I am filming and will be uploading. I'm sorry I missed the last couple of weeks. I have been a little bit hectic with camps and such. Speaking of which, I have just come back from the amazing youth camp that my church did, which was incredible. And going off the back of that, I thought I would show you some ways that you can grow closer to God using your phone. Because, let's be real, we've all got one. Now, you might not have the beautiful Nokia that I have, because yes, that's what I have. But, you know, any smartphone will do. So, there's a lot of chat in Christian circles about how, well, in a lot of circles actually, about how using your phone is a bad thing. Now, on some level, I do support that, and I do think that on some level, we're a little bit addicted to our phones, but I didn't want you to be like, yo, I'm a Christian, now I have to give up my phone or something like that. So I figured I'd show you how you can use your phone, and instead of glorifying the world, you can glorify God and prioritize Him in your time, rather than the endless social media scroll, which is something I find myself getting stuck on way too much. So, let's get into it! Also, guys, what do you think of my new intro? So I went out and specifically downloaded a screen recorder app so I could show you how I use my phone to grow closer with God. So, hello. Number uno. Why do I do that every time I'm going through? I think Dora has had way too much of an effect on me. I don't speak Spanish, guys, but I know what Dora has taught me, and apparently that comes across in way too much of my life. But oh well. So, number one is the beautiful YouVersion Bible app. So, I'll chuck it on the screen here next to me so you guys can see. But basically, this is a Bible app that brings you closer to God, obviously, because it's the Bible. Now, if you look at the app, it's got the entire Bible. Let me move that. It's got the entire Bible. You can choose what book you want to go through. It's all in order. You've got your chapters, your verses, whatever you're after. And then you can also choose what translation you like. So personally, I like using NLT, but sometimes I like looking at some of the other versions. So you'll see up the top here, NIV, NKJV, Message, and ESV are all up the top because they're ones that I've used before. Just when I'm comparing different translations. However, if you keep scrolling, there's a whole bunch. I didn't even realize there were this many until I got the app. But yes, so that's really good. It means you can have your Bible anywhere with you. If you forget to bring it somewhere, you know, you've got it right in your pocket all the time. But this is one of my favorite things about YouVersion is that they have plans. I feel like I should add, this is not sponsored. I just want to encourage you to get the Bible app because it's great. So currently you'll see here that the plan I've been doing is the New Testament in 90 days. But it's got this awesome section called Find Plans. So as you can see, they've got all of these different topics that you can do it on. So let's say I am really struggling at the moment with depression. Let's say that's something that I'm really struggling with. I click on that and it brings me a whole bunch of different plans that relate to that. So as you can see, there's things on, you know, overwhelmed by life, surviving trauma, things like that. And, you know, they've got that on all these different topics. You can go popular ones. There's Christian living, wisdom, purpose. What God thinks about your dating. Feel like that's a bit of a little pokey one. So I've got a bunch saved, which you can see here. Basically, I'm just going through and I'm like, oh, I like that, but I don't want to do it right now, so I save it. So there's a few like on dating and things like that. Growing your faith. Spiritual warfare, things like that are all saved for me. But yeah, as you can see, they've got a bunch of plans. So if we go into one of the plans, let's go growing your faith. So this is a YouVersion plan. I'm going to click Start Plan. I can choose whether I want to do it by myself or with my friends. So you can get others in with you and then you hold each other accountable, which is really good. But for this one, I'm doing it by myself, so by myself. Now, is this visible to friends? They can see my progress, or do I not want my friends to be watching this one? Which can be good if you're doing something like about dating and you don't want people to know kind of thing. But I'm going to go visible to friends. So now I go back into my plans and it'll refresh itself and say hello, this is now one of your plans that you've started as soon as it figures itself out. So there we go, growing your faith. So it starts with a devotional. So in this case we've got, I feel like I should turn the phone, but I know that it's going to be on the screen next to you. So this is on knowing God's will, and this is just like a bit of a devotional about, how, what the Bible's saying and what this means for us, and kind of like a little devotional, mini preach, that kind of thing. And that's got the reflection at the bottom. Most of them seem to have the reflection or the question or something. And then after that we go straight into scripture. So sometimes it's a verse, like in this case. Sometimes it's a full chapter or whatever. But yeah, so that kind of links you through to that. And you'll also have noticed that there was some highlighting in my version. And that is because I've read this Bible and I've highlighted the verses. So if I go to home and then I go to my section, I've got all of my highlights saved. So I've got a bunch in here. Now, as you can see, I've got a bunch in Hebrews at the top because that's what I've been reading lately. But it goes through all the way through. There's a bunch basically. And then when you're reading, you're reminded of those things. You can also have friends, share your progress, bookmark things. It allows you to make little images. I made one. There we go. There's one I made. And then you can share them on your socials or just leave it up on the Bible app for your friends to see. But basically, it's a really good app to be staying connected with God, to making Him your focus, and to just placing Him at the center of your life. Because Bible reading can be hard. I will be completely honest with you. I did not like reading my Bible when I was in high school. Now today, I have learnt the incredible joy within those pages, but there was a time where it did not interest me at all. But having these little plans and having these little bite-sized pieces of scripture was a way for me to, commit to it. And it had streaks, of course, and you know how we love our streaks. So you wanted to keep your streak on the Bible app, and it helped develop those good daily habits, which have led to where I currently am, where I'm reading my Bible every single day, which is something that I 100% recommend. And I've been choosing to use my physical Bible, but obviously YouVersion, it's the same text, it's the same thing, just sometimes it can have a bit of a different feel being on your phone. So yes, that is number one recommendation, is that you get the YouVersion Bible app, check that out, and spend your time, instead of scrolling mindlessly on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, spend your time scrolling through the Bible and letting God speak to you through that. So my number two, just double check what my number two was. Yes, my number two is godly social media. So I want to show you guys my Instagram feed. Now I have two Instagrams. There's my personal Instagram, and then there is my Cultivating My Vibe one, which of course you all know about and hopefully follow. Just a little plug here. Go check that one out. So you'll see on my Instagram, which should be popping up on the screen right about now, that the posts that I post are all godly. They're all biblically inspired. They're all based off biblical principles, encouraging words, things like that. So if you look at some of my things, you'll see, I've got different Bible verses. I've got different videos from like when I was at church. I've got scripture, just photos, and mine's nice and pretty and colour themed, which is something I've worked on. But there are a whole bunch. So if I go back to my homepage, I've got different Christians on my feed. I've got different Christian YouTubers, influencers, groups such as Youth Alive Academy. Youth Alive. Although that is Youth Alive Academy, so I don't feel as bad. But as you keep going, and this is just in my Discover based off the other things that I have, they're godly, they're God-honouring, and oh, how cute. Sorry, I haven't actually gone through here. I went through my personal feed, and I was going through a bunch of reels one day and found a bunch of Christian things. So
happy I found your music on here, though, truly.
Now I have, in my feed is a whole bunch of Christian things. So I've got different youth groups. I've got, John B. Christ, recommend. He has this new video out. If Noah's Ark happened in 2022. And I kind of love it, I won't lie. He's a comedian. So this, of course, is an example of my Instagram feed and what yours can also look like, because prior to following all of these things, my feed was not uplifting, it was not encouraging, and it was not bringing me closer to God. So I chose to unfollow certain things and to follow other things so that my feed was positive and it was bringing me closer to God. You can use your social media how you choose. It can be something to draw you closer to God, or it can be something to pull you further away. And that's a very, very important thing that I need you to take note of. For so long, social media has been a distraction for me, and it still can be sometimes. But it can also help bring me closer to God, because I've chosen for it to bring me closer to God. Now, that's not to say I don't get dumb memes and things on my feed. I do. But a lot of my content now is Christian based. And I was just at this conference. It was so good. The Christian humor, it was amazing. I actually love Christian humor. We're great. Let me just... But like on my YouTube, this is on my Cultivating My Vibe, which you're all watching now, so go sub to that if you're not subbed. I follow Christian YouTubers. You can see a few of them in my subscribed list. I try to prioritize having Christian content on my feed, so that instead of mindlessly scrolling through and watching really dumb stuff that just doesn't matter and is wasting my time, I'm watching things that bring me closer to God. So yes, one YouTube channel that I definitely recommend is called The Bible Project. It goes through different books of the Bible and explains just different things. So here, I'll put a little clip up. So as you can see, this one goes through the book of Proverbs, and then if we skip to later through, you'll see that it's detailing the book of Proverbs in different just little sections, makes it really visual, easy to understand. And then at the end, it always gives a little overview of the whole image, which I love. So something like that is what you end up with. Please don't take me down for putting your stuff up here. But I'll link them. So that one was specifically for Proverbs, but they've got that for books of the Bible, themes in the Bible, characters in the Bible. Really excellent YouTube channel if you want to grow your biblical knowledge, which is definitely something I recommend. So yes, definitely recommend Bible Project. Obviously there are Christian YouTubers out there like myself, which I do encourage you watching. I don't have a complete list of who I watch, because I'm still kind of getting into that. There was a really long time I didn't watch any Christian YouTubers, so I'm still finding out who my jam is. But yes, that's just another way that you can bring yourself closer to God through your phone. Oh, I do want to add on for my social media comment, that doesn't only mean flooding your feed with positive things, but creating positive things is also a really good one. As you guys know, I started Cultivating My Vibe, my YouTube and my Instagram, which I'd love for you to go check out. Both, obviously, are on my YouTube now, but don't forget to subscribe, and my Instagram, go follow that link and follow that. As you've seen, I put up some good Christian content. But since I started doing that, so my personal Instagram, I never post on. Oh well. But since I've started posting on my Cultivating My Vibe, I am so much more focused on the things of God, because I want to be finding content to put out for you guys. And obviously I want it to be God-focused, God-orientated, and God-glorifying. So when I'm reading my scriptures, like my most recent post, I'm reading the Bible and I go, wow, this is an awesome verse, I'll chuck it on social media. Whereas before, I might have just read it and kept going. Or, I might be thinking, wow, how important is it that we spend more time with God and, not just scrolling on our phones. So I've started creating content about, how you can use your phone to glorify God. That's this video if you weren't paying attention. But when you start kind of choosing to put that stuff out, you are bringing a positive light to all of your friends and the followers online, and it's helping you to kind of see the good things of God. The last thing on my list is Spotify. If you're an Apple person, Apple Music, really any music streaming platform. Personally, I use Spotify, so that's what I'll be showing you on. Now, I have got a bunch of different playlists that I have on here. Some of them that I've made, and some of them I haven't. So as you can see here, my top genre is Christian and gospel. And you can just click on that and straight away it takes you to a whole bunch of different Christian music, or if you just search up, worship. Oops, if I can spell. you've got a whole bunch of playlists here. So this one specifically is my playlist that's came up, and it's got a whole bunch of just different ones, some of which I recommended in my last video. Whichever video I've linked here. But yes, that's really good. So I've got a worship playlist. I've got a praise playlist. Now, if you're not really sure what the difference is, because they are kind of the same thing, we tend to refer to those like jumpy and poppy and upbeat songs as praise, because it's kind of like a party. And we tend to refer to like those slow keys and instrumental kind of music as worship, because you're just spending time in awe of God. So yes, I've got those ones. I've also got If We Love Him, just a collection of things. I've got I Don't Care So Long As It's Christian. That's one of these playlists, which is just a mix of all of my music, because sometimes you don't know what you want, but you want it to be Christian, so I chuck that on. Got good music with a little angel emoji there, and that's basically just Christian foundation music. So it's God honouring and everything, and it talks about God, and it, is very vocal about that. But it's not necessarily praise or worship, it's more just like something in here on the radio. As you can see, I've got a couple musical ones that I listen to. Hot Is Australia, I haven't listened to in a while. The one that I'm looking for is further down. I think I must have skipped it already. It was right up the top. So indie movie vibe, but make it Christian, is one of my favourites. So I've got on here a bunch of nice little songs that are just really chill vibes, easy, like, that, like, I want to be in a movie, so I'm going to play, like, this playlist, which, yes, I have those playlists as well. But this one's the same kind of vibe, but it's all Christian. It's really good to have in the background when you're out somewhere at the beach, driving, cleaning your room, whatever it is. It's really nice to just chill and have that in the background. So I like to listen to that one when I fall asleep. My other thing that I would recommend to you, specifically with Spotify, but I'm sure it's on all the other ones as well, is podcasts. So as you can see, I've got a bunch of different ones saved. I'm going to plug For the Creatives real quick. That is my friend's podcast. It's still pretty new, but it's really good, and he's awesome, so go check that one out. And while I'm on Spotify, I'll do a shout out to Aaron as well, who started his own music thing. He's got a few songs out now, so go check that out. I'll also put the link in the description for both of those guys. But as you can see, I've got things like the Planet Boom Youth Leadership podcast, I've got the Girl Next Door podcast, and these are Christian leadership-based podcasts. So the first one is by Planet Boom. They're the ones that put out a bunch of awesome music, like Let Me Tell Ya and things like that. And this is just a podcast on leadership as, like a youth leader, like how do you be a good youth leader kind of things. Or how do you lead in your school, that kind of thing. So that's one that I enjoy. Girl Next Door podcast. Currently missing its image for whatever reason, but oh well. That's by Pastor Renee Bennett, who I really love and adore, and that talks about, different social topics, parenting, being a youth leader, being a woman of God, just all these different things. So I really love that one as well. And then I've got a couple different churches and just random ones, so that, when I'm driving or when I'm cleaning my room, whatever it is I'm doing, that I just have that spare time. I can just have that godly words going into my ears. As you can see, I've also got a couple churches here, and they're led by some really awesome senior pastors, those ones, and I trust them, I trust what they have to say, so I've put them into my life even if I don't necessarily go to that church, you know what I mean? So I love Pastor Sam Long. He's great. I've had him as a guest speaker at my church before, and I just love him. So I've got a few of his sermons saved, and I can just have that coming into my ears no matter the time. Or, like, if it's Sunday or whatever. And they upload, weekly, fortnightly, whenever it is they upload. But yes, so that is my last official way of how to grow closer to God. Hello, my awesome people. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Probably a little bit over the place and a bit long considering I only had 3 things. But I really hope you guys enjoyed it. We're coming off the back of camp, personally. My church, my youth, it just come off the back of camp, and it's kind of been really physically exhausting, spiritually amazing. But it can be pretty tiring, and I know how hard it is to try and find that groove and that place where, you're spending time with God without it seeming forced. And I hope that these few tips on how to use your phone have just helped you to understand, and you to kind of come up with ways that you can bring God into your everyday routine and spend more time with Him every day. Any hoozle, I love all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment with me down below so we can chat to know what your favourite one is, which one you're going to start to do, which one you might need to be challenging yourself to doing. But yes, I hope you enjoyed this video. I love all of you, and I pray that you have an amazing, awesome week, and God bless.